Joining us tonight, former acting U.S. Attorney General Matthew Whitaker. Matt, it's great to have you here. Let's start with first, if we may, the House under Democratic leadership, obviously launching a partisan attack against the president in the guise of a quote-unquote impeachment inquiry.
Right.
The idea that there wouldn't be Republican representation, the opportunity for the president to be represented by counsel, for this to be a partisan assault on a president is unprecedented.
Right, and we would fully expect at the end of the House impeachment inquiry a completely partisan vote. This is against the legal traditions of our country. The House is unwilling to make its members record their vote. I think that's a very interesting issue in and of itself. They're unwilling to follow precedent from previous impeachment proceedings. And, quite frankly, this is what it appears to be, which is a completely unfair and partial proceeding that is only going to conclude with one thing, and that is cherry-picked facts that make the president look very bad, which is inconsistent with actually what has happened, because we have the evidence. We've seen the Mueller report. We've seen the call transcript. We have the primary evidence, and it's very obvious to me as a former prosecutor, and it's very obvious to the Department of Justice, which has declined these cases, that there was no crime committed. And so the American people need to understand this is a complete waste of time, and there's so many other things they could be working on.
Some of these reporters in the deep state forget the Department of Justice ruled there was nothing improper about that phone call whatsoever, and yet they proceed. There's something definitely improper, it seems to, I think, most Americans interested in fair play, whether they are a supporter of this president or not. On its face, the idea that it would be a whistleblower in secret who also happens to be a CIA officer, this is pressing against impossibility.
This whistleblower thing, the idea that somehow, although we have a call transcript, we're going to put a whistleblower on, off-site, obscure their face, obscure their voice, and have them essentially give Adam Schiff's version of the facts, and we've already seen some of his his interpretation of the call. I mean, we should expect more of that. And it's just, the American people, the ones I talk to in real America, including places like my home state of Iowa,
right,
they know what's important. They know what the House should be focused on. The USMCA trade agreement, for example, is something that would make a positive difference for Iowans.
The Democrats
but the
House
has no interest in passing that.
They not only want to subvert him and to remove him from office, but they refuse to give him even the opportunity to serve the nation with a completed deal. It's a complete negotiated agreement that requires only the House to move for it to become law.
And even while the House wastes their time on this impeachment, this president's getting things done. Lowest unemployment in 50 years, great economy, criminal justice reform was passed on a bipartisan nature. So this president's moving forward with his agenda in spite of what the House is doing right now.
The Justice Department also now, before a federal judge, Judge Howell, Beryl Howell, seeking to block the House from getting grand jury testimony from the Mueller, I almost said Mueller witch hunt, so I'll say Mueller witch hunt. It's the judge making it very clear to the Justice Department attorneys that precedent is on the side here of releasing that because, as she points out, impeachment per se is considered a judicial proceeding. But this is nothing like any proceeding before it in trying to have an impeachment inquiry of a president.
It's not. It's not. And the law is clear that grand jury proceedings and transcripts and evidence collected as part of a grand jury can only be released as part of a judicial proceeding. And there is no way under the law that this thing in the House that they haven't even voted on to start can be considered a judicial proceeding. And this is one of the things that I think Americans are very frustrated with our courts and our system of justice, where they can read the plain letter of the law and it says, and the way it's interpreted is entirely different. And so this is something that I expect the Supreme Court, once they get this case ultimately, will rule that the House is not entitled to this evidence.
I think Americans are not only frustrated, and by the way, we're looking at a lot of different polls here about their confidence in the president or the so-called impeachment inquiry. I think those polls are absolute nonsense. This is a country that right now does not trust its judiciary system. It doesn't certainly trust this legislative system as led by Pelosi, Schumer, and the bunch. I mean, it's just this is a time of, I think, significantly ebbing trust in our government institutions.
And you have a House of Representatives that's unwilling to do the people's business, and that's what's the most frustrating thing at this point in time.
Right now, there's one dependable public servant in D.C., and that is the President of the United States. And that's just a sad fact. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Matthew
Lou.
Whitaker, good to see you.